Halftime here at the Prescott Valley Events Center. Jon Bloom with you on Facebook Live. Glad to have you with us here on this Friday night. The Suns on top of the Big Horns from Reno. 41-38 is the halftime score. We got some time to have a guest join us here at the half, a guy who has been covering the Northern Arizona Suns since day one, since the announcement. He's the beat writer for the Daily Courier. Brian Bergner, our guest here on the Northern Arizona Suns broadcast. And Brian, good to have you with us. I know this is a situation where it's work for you, but this has got to be exciting. You know, obviously this town has had professional sports. It was in the form of hockey. How is it responding to basketball so far?
I think it's fantastic. I mean, you've got hockey at such a minor league level, but now you've got D-League. It's a true minor league for the NBA. A lot of these guys play in between teams, as we've seen today, with
Derek Jones Jr.
Derek Jones Jr. Getting sent back down, and he got a chance to play in Philly in front of his hometown fans last Saturday, and so I think we'll see a lot of that, and I think the fans are responding. I mean, the other night in L.A., there were 500 fans in the stands, and that team's been around forever, and we've had 1,500 plus, the first few games of the season here. So.
And you've got a basketball background. You did some coaching, so it's got to be exciting that you get an opportunity to be a beat writer here as this team's just getting started.
That's right. I played a little college basketball. I coached, some high school basketball here in Arizona for almost 10 years, so it is great, an opportunity to get to know head coach Ty Ellis and his coaching staff and the players, and it's great again to have some pro basketball here in Prescott Valley.
You've been a guy, Brian Bergner, our guest here at halftime, the beat writer for the Daily Courier, who has not only coached, played, and covered basketball, but you've had a lot of experience in Northern Arizona, not all in Prescott, also been in Sedona and other parts of this state. How's life going for you here in Prescott?
Well, my family and I, we lived in Phoenix for a few years, worked for the Associated Press. Daily Courier had a position available last summer, so we decided to make the move. And like you said, it was like coming home. Graduated from Sedona Red Rock in 2001. Spent some time with Northern Arizona. Graduated there as a lumberjack in 2006. So again, I've spent a lot of time in Northern Arizona, and being here in the Prescott Valley area has been fantastic.
What have your impressions been of Ty Ellis, this coaching staff, and this franchise getting going here basketball-wise? We talked about the response from the community, but what about your impressions of the hoops?
I think, every team has talent, and it's up to the coaching staff to pull that talent out. And I think that's what you've seen so far, with a 3-1 start by the Suns this year. The most impressive thing I've seen is you could actually make a stat for the Suns this year, how many times they've dove on the floor for loose balls. I mean, how often do you see that, even in the NBA, at the NBA level? And so he's got them playing and believing so early on at this young part of the season. So.
And I saw you were following on Twitter just like me on Wednesday night. I mean, you see no quit in a lot of teams, but that was a great display. And I talked to Ty Ellis right before the game. He said, I loved it. I love the fact we were down at 20 at half because it gave me an opportunity to get in and get on them. Kind of like spanking your kid is what he said. Sometimes they need it. And I guess he gave them a verbal spanking. And boy, did it show. They came out, rallied all the way back, forced that overtime. And then what they did in overtime was maybe even more impressive, coming from down 7 with 36 seconds left to go.
I mean, they found themselves down 31 in the first half. And what Coach Ellis told me was he basically challenged them as men and say, when is this going to stop? When are we going to take a hold of this game? And, they were unbelievable. Booker was unbelievable. Millsap, they both had 35. It was a great way to watch those guys really kind of come together. And even though they lost, it still kind of felt like a win, coming back to Prescott Valley for tonight.
Well, I'm so glad we got a chance to talk some hoops with you. Brian Bergner, our guest here as the beat writer for this Northern Arizona Suns club, and also because you have some special coverage coming up that I think fans of the Suns would like to see. So let us know what we can expect in the coming weeks from the Daily Courier and from yourself.
Well, we've got every Friday for the first 10 or 12 weeks of the season, we've got a feature on each of the players. So we've already done Gracine Bakimania. He was in this Friday's paper, and today's paper actually, and we'll have several others. I interviewed Elijah Millsap and this week, so he'll be coming hopefully next week. So you'll get a chance, the fans will get a chance to kind of meet the players, so to speak, and we can kind of show them what kind of people these guys are.
And they can see it all online, too. If they're not here in Prescott and can't get the hard copy of the paper, how do they find it?
Dcourier.com is a great way to access it. If you follow us on Twitter, SportsWriter52 is another way. And, you can always check us out on our several social media accounts, and that's how we kind of put out the word. So
I know Skia Booker's a big fan, as he just came over. I know he reads all your stuff, and he's one of those guys that's keeping up on it. And I'm sure our fans and people watching right now will take you up on it. How do they see you on Twitter?
SportsWriter52. That's how you can find me on Twitter. I've got Instagram as well, Facebook page. And that's kind of how I put the news that I write about out online, out in front of the public. So, follow me on Twitter. I always like to interact with fans when they have a chance.
Yeah, and he's covering it like nobody else here in Prescott Valley. So follow him, SportsWriter52. Brian, a pleasure having you on the broadcast.
Thank you so much.
We'll do it again sometime. Brian Bergner from the Daily Courier will step aside, take a break, come back, and get second half action underway live from the PVEC here on Facebook Live.